Welcome to the 21st Annual Celebration of Goodness Awards, coming to you from Kindland, USA. I'm your host, the Reverend Brian Cash. Now, this year's recipients of the Sam Miller Goodness Award and the Arnold R. Pinckney Award for Civic Leadership are the embodiment of goodness and leadership in their communities, setting a high bar for us to aspire towards.
They're the perfect combination of state-of-the-art medicine and state-of-the-heart caring.
She is a driving force in neighborhood revitalization and economic inclusion.
They're the pride of Cleveland and our musical ambassadors to the world.
Marcia is a strong leader that always leads with her heart.
The compelling stories of these good people and a special musical guest are coming up. But first, a word from Values and Actions co-founder and CEO, Stuart Buzinski.
In 2019, we lost a true Cleveland treasure. Sam Miller was a larger-than-life hero to many and mentor and ally to those fortunate enough to call him friend. And I was one of those very fortunate people. And Sam's footprints are still visible throughout Northeast Ohio, and the influence of both Sam Miller and Arnold Pinckney, our former board chair and good friend, for the cause of goodness is still evident throughout the country, from average people to the highest levels of business and government. Sam's intent in founding this celebration of goodness 21 years ago was to shine a light on those doing good and thereby motivate others to follow those examples. Both Sam and Arnold wanted to create a community of goodness. Although no one could fully fill their shoes, we are so proud to continue in their footsteps.
I saw Sam Miller as the embodiment of all that humans do for others. His legacy will live on as an example of how you treat people and organizations, big and small, how you exemplify the sorts of things that really do make a difference in making our community a better place. Sam has been a wonderful example that we will not forget.
The Goodness Award is named after him for good reason, because he was a man of vision who saw things and wanted to get them done and then set about making things happen.
As they give the Sam Miller Goodness Award, it recognizes both his contributions and the way that people have taken up the mantle that he set out for all of us by continuing to do the good work that the community needs.
Anyone who receives the Sam Miller Award has to be very, very grateful and very honored that your name somehow gets associated with Sam Miller's.
Anytime you're mentioned in the same sentence with a great person like Sam Miller, it's always a good thing. You know, this award exemplifies to me that there are people out there that notice some of the things that you do in the community and equate that to some of the good things that need to be completed in the community.
This award is a very important award because it really gives people a focus as to what is recognized as outstanding leadership in the community. People look at that being recognized with the Sam Miller Goodness Award is something to strive for.
The Sam Miller Goodness Award is obviously a great honor. Sam Miller was one of Cleveland's treasures. Sam was a major contributor to the growth of Cleveland, the communities and the surrounding area, and anybody that knew him was fortunate for that experience.
His legacy is not only Project Love, which is wonderful, but a number of things in Cleveland. So many I couldn't even count them all. But that's why this award is so special to me, because it signifies what Sam Miller meant to this community.
The Sam Miller Goodness Award was an indescribable honor. It was also encouragement that those who commit themselves with all of their imperfections, to love, justice, and reconciliation do not work in vain.
Hopefully, giving this award to significant people in the community will help raise the awareness in the community of the need for that kind of interest in young people and providing them with values that will be so necessary for our meaningful life.
The Sam Miller Award, what does it mean for community? It means that we all should do our best. We have an inscription on the wall at the Holocaust Memorial down at the State House that says, if you save one life, you may have changed the world, and I happen to believe that.
Giving a Goodness Award is like saying I'm for motherhood and apple pie. Giving a Goodness Award in the name of Sam Miller makes it a totally different award. Because giving a Goodness Award by Sam Miller is an indication as to how one human being's goodness can affect so many people.
The legacy of Sam Miller's goodness lives on in the hearts and minds of all whose lives he touched, and his words and deeds continue to motivate and inspire us. Inspired by Sam's kindness and motivated by his love of Cleveland, in 2020, Values in Action launched the Kindland Initiative, an ambitious project aimed at showing the world what a city of kindness can be.
Nowadays, it seems like every news cycle is filled with a constant stream of tragedy, doomsday predictions, and reports of a widening gap between segments of our society. Is this what our world has become? Have the lines that divide us become unbridgeable chasms? Is our humanity waning under forces that are beyond our control? These questions can lead us to feelings of fear, exclusion, isolation, and ultimately hopelessness. But what if there was a place where, despite our circumstances, despite our differences, we could feel a sense of togetherness and common purpose? What if each day we could wake up with a feeling of optimism, that though these are troubled times, we are not alone, but all in this together? What if that place was right here in our hometown? Welcome to Kindland, the kindest city in America. We know the world is constantly changing, but what the future looks like depends on us. There are many different seeds we can plant to grow a better world. If we choose the seeds of anger, resentment, and exclusion, we'll create a toxic environment where nothing can truly thrive. But if we plant the seeds of kindness, a different world emerges, a world of infinite possibilities where we can all flourish. The goal of the Kindland Initiative is to shine a light on the acts of kindness that happen every day in our community. Acts that inspire and motivate us to generate our own brand of kindness and pay it forward. I'm Leon Bibb, and in my many years of broadcasting, I have told the stories of countless acts of kindness. People who move beyond their personal needs, fears, and perceived limitations to lend a hand, comfort and encourage others, and do the right thing. And in my investigation of this phenomena, I have found that these people are ultimately the happiest group in our society. Because an act of kindness is the most fulfilling thing one can do. The Bible says, "Cast your bread upon the water, and it will come back tenfold." This is the true power of kindness. Since its launch in 2020, the response to the Kindland Initiative from individuals, businesses, and government has been overwhelming. Because like its evil twin, kindness is infectious, spreads quickly, and can transform a community. I urge you all to not only plant the seeds of kindness in your community, but to share your story of kindness and the other stories you have heard at #Kindland. Together we can create a groundswell and show the world that Kindland is not just in our state, it's a state of mind. And it's not just in this place, it's a place in your heart. I'm Leon Bibb, a citizen of Kindland, and I want to invite you to join me in this world-changing endeavor by taking the Kindness Pledge at the address below. Together, we can do this.
Kindness, when done right, is a verb. It's not enough to be kind. We must strive to do kind things daily, to reach out to others, not just when it's easy or convenient, but in any situation where our kindness is needed. This year during the NFL draft, Kindland held its own draft to encourage people to acknowledge others in their community who have done kind acts. And while our draft picks may not suit up and stand on a scrimmage line, their impact on our society is profoundly felt every day.
The world needs more kind people like our draftees to stand on the line and defend others, to pass on a positive message, to help all of us win at the game of life. This year's award recipients are the incarnation of kindness, and their goodness shows in all they do. Here are their stories.
Now, more than ever, it's important for us to be kind to one another. At KeyBank, being kind is at the core of who we are. Our mission is to empower clients, communities, and employees to thrive. One way we perform acts of kindness in the communities we serve is through our National Community Benefits Plan. We recently expanded our investment to $40 billion to protect the environment and reach social, economic, and racial equity. Delivering on this commitment brings access to capital for neighborhoods and neighbors who have often faced unfair barriers to financial support. KeyBank is committed to being kind as we participate in the growth, revitalization, and sustainability of the communities we proudly serve. Ranked one of the top hospital systems worldwide, the Cleveland Clinic has always strived to combine kindness and caring with cutting-edge medicine and research. Searching for a new CEO, they knew they needed a leader with extraordinary medical skills and a passion for caring. They found this unique combination in Dr. Tom Mihaljevic. For their caring and leadership during these trying times and beyond, we honor Dr. Mihaljevic and the Cleveland Clinic with the Sam Miller Goodness Award.
This year, Cleveland Clinic turned 100 years old. For a century, it has been the pinnacle of healthcare in Greater Cleveland. And how fortunate we are to have the country's #2 hospital and the #1 heart program in our own backyard. Led by CEO and President Dr. Tom Mihaljevic, the clinic's standard of excellence is matched only by the hearts of its tens of thousands of caregivers. Cleveland Clinic's slogan is "Every life deserves world-class care." And its core values that embrace care and empathy have created a culture that make care both tangible and viable. Each day, the Cleveland Clinic cares for the people and about people. During the pandemic, the clinic's caregivers remain vigilant in providing the highest quality care to patients despite the risks and challenges of being on the front lines of COVID. Cleveland Clinic collaborated with other hospitals in the region to better meet the demand on resources so no one location became overburdened and patients would have safe access to the care they needed. Under the stellar leadership of Dr. Tom Mihaljevic and the efforts of his able team, Cleveland Clinic delivered goodness, kindness, caring, and love to our community. For all these reasons, Cleveland Clinic and its CEO, Dr. Tom Mihaljevic, are deserving of the Sam Miller Goodness Award. Sam Miller, a longtime benefactor, would indeed be proud.
Hello, and thank you to the Values in Action Foundation for recognizing Cleveland Clinic. It is an honor to receive an award that carries out the vision of our dear friend, the late Sam Miller. Sam served Northeast Ohio from a place of abundance. He rewarded goodness to multiply its power. For this reason, Sam often directed his generosity toward nurses and clinicians, and we feel his presence to this day. Goodness is what shines forth in the actions of our caregivers. They are the kindest souls in the noblest of professions. Throughout the pandemic, our teams have given their all with compassion and selflessness. It is why Cleveland Clinic is a beacon of hope for those in need. Our mission is caring for life, researching for health, and educating those who serve. We have proudly cared for this community for 100 years. Like you, we believe in making it a kinder place to prevent suffering, advance health, and create prosperity for everyone. Your continued support inspired all of us to do our part. On behalf of more than 70,000 Cleveland Clinic caregivers, I humbly accept the Sam Miller Goodness Award. Thank you again for this recognition and for all that you do to encourage a thriving community.
A kinder, more civil school environment can have a profound effect on every aspect of the student experience. The success of Project Love's fully immersive pilot program at John Adams High School produced amazing results that speak for themselves.
Kindness is a beautiful and selfless virtue that I see embodied in the lives of so many people day after day throughout Northeast Ohio. For nearly 175 years, many people have partnered with Catholic Charities in the Diocese of Cleveland to feed, clothe, educate, heal, and house countless people while helping them find their way to our Lord's kindness. Today, our church delivers more than 150 services at 60 locations to over 400,000 people each year, providing help and hope for people of every race and religion in Cleveland and throughout 8 counties of Northeast Ohio. A passion for community is in her DNA, and coupled with her unique ability to create win-win solutions, India Pierce Lee has been a driving force for connecting Cleveland businesses with neighborhood development. During her tenure with the Cleveland Foundation, she has spearheaded programs that benefit both residents in struggling neighborhoods and institutions located in or near these neighborhoods. For her tireless work for the betterment of Cleveland communities, we honor India Pierce Lee with this year's Sam Miller Goodness Award.
As the head of grant-making at the Cleveland Foundation, India Pierce Lee cares about community. She cares about making Cleveland better, kinder, more innovative, more inclusive, more collaborative, and more resilient. She cares about the neighborhoods, the schools, the children, the adults, the elders, and the businesses. And she demonstrates that caring by striving to eliminate lead paint poisoning, by bolstering learning and graduation, by boosting job creation and job distribution, and by giving everyone a chance to run the race of life in a positive way. Her background is community, and she strives through grants as well as through the powerful and influential force of her personality to make community better, to forge connections, and to welcome people to the table. When the community was hurting because of the pandemic, India and the Cleveland Foundation mobilized with others to create the COVID Relief Fund. For her leadership, kindness, goodness, and good cheer, and for her collaborative spirit, India Pierce Lee deserves the Sam Miller Goodness Award.
First, I would like to thank Stuart, Albert Redner, Betty Pinckney, Dick Bogamoni, and Carol Hoover for this incredible honor, and the other recipients being recognized today for their leadership and contributions to society. The legacy of Sam Miller continues to live on through many individuals who generously give back. As we have witnessed over the past year and a half, we have collectively beckoned the call to do what we need in order to be of service to our communities, our families, and our friends. This year has shown us the human spirit, the very core of our being, has become essential to show love, kindness, compassion, and empathy that Sam Miller envisioned. I was blessed that my parents believed in doing for and giving back to others, and I thank them for instilling these qualities in our family as part of their legacy. It never hurts just to give a smile or to do some random acts of kindness for others. It is through my faith that I know together we can garner the hope and change we need for Northeast Ohio to be a kinder and more loving region that embraces our diversity and works to ensure the best for everyone. And I challenge each of you watching today to bring that same spirit of love and kindness in all you do for the sake of others, and just because it's the right thing to do. Again, I am truly humbled and thank you for this recognition. I leave you with this quote from Amelia Earhart: "A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and bring new trees." Thank you.
To date, Project Love values and action programs have positively impacted the lives of over 1.1 million students nationwide and laid a foundation for their success. Please consider becoming a Project Love supporter and help us to make a better world one child at a time.
The food bank's mission is to ensure that everyone in our community has the nutritious food they need every day. Last year, we were honored to be recognized by the Values and Action Foundation for our work in response to the pandemic. We distributed 9 million more pounds of food and served 100,000 more people than the year prior. Solving hunger requires an entire community coming together to address it, and those being recognized today have been supporters and leaders in the fight against hunger and other important initiatives for years. We couldn't do this work without the boundless support of great people spreading goodness and kindness across the community. Music has the power to soothe, to motivate, and to inspire us. Great music, performed to perfection, can transport our minds and elevate our souls beyond our current circumstances. The Cleveland Orchestra's world-renowned performances have done just that for generations. And during the COVID crisis, this beloved institution stepped up once again, as only they can, to deliver a message of hope and comfort with online and in-person concerts. For the positive light they've always shined on Northeast Ohio and their continued inspiration, we present André Gremillet, Richard Smucker, Franz Welser-Möst, and the entire Cleveland Orchestra with this year's Sam Miller Goodness Award.
The Cleveland Orchestra. The name itself represents collaboration, harmony, community pride, and worldwide recognition. Led by music director Franz Welser-Möst, CEO André Gremillet, and board chairman Richard Smucker, the Cleveland Orchestra is one of the most sought-after performing ensembles in the world, setting standards of extraordinary artistic excellence creative music making, and community programming. In 2020, COVID-19 changed everything. Everything except the Cleveland Orchestra's commitment to serving the community. And while Severance Hall was silent for the first time in over 100 years, the music didn't stop. The orchestra's musicians presented an extraordinary number of outdoor performances and socially distanced events, including more than 30 concerts in a salute to frontline workers on the campuses of the Cleveland Clinic, Metro Health, and university hospitals, along with pop-up and drive-away concerts throughout our region. The orchestra also provided online classical music performances and special daily mindful music moments to help kids and families reduce stress and anxiety. Its musicians and teaching artists held lessons in parking lots and driveways and through Zoom and FaceTime to keep its programming available to our community's schools and neighborhoods. For all of these efforts to illustrate the power of music to unite us, transcend obstacles, and strengthen our connections to others, Richard Smucker, André Gremillet, Franz Welser-Möst, and the Cleveland Orchestra are receiving the Sam Miller Goodness Award.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Orchestra, we are honored to be a recipient of the Sam Miller Goodness Award. We are also honored to be recognized alongside such a distinguished group of fellow nominees. Sam Miller was a man who touched every part of Ohio and made it a better place for all of us. The Cleveland Orchestra, like Sam, has touched many lives throughout the state and the world with the power of music. The past 18 months have forced all of us to reassess what is valuable in our lives. And the value of the Cleveland Orchestra has never been clearer. We are fortunate in Northeast Ohio to have such a wonderful healthcare providers that lead the world in medicine and do such a great job in healing the body. We like to say at the orchestra that we help heal the soul. So even at times when it is difficult to gather audiences or even the full orchestra in person, we found ways to reach our neighbors immediately, personally, and even globally. I will now turn it over to André Gremillet, the orchestra's CEO, as to what we were able to do and what goodness we hope it provided to those thousands we were able to reach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, Values in Action, for this wonderful recognition of the work of the Cleveland Orchestra. I especially want to extend our thanks on behalf of Music Director Franz Welser-Möst, whose presence and artistic leadership is central to everything our orchestra does. Franz is the best music director an orchestra can have, and his artistry, as well as his love for this community, is making this orchestra an even better one every year. I would like to thank the musicians of the Cleveland Orchestra, whose dedication, initiatives, and deep love of our community has been evident since the beginning of this pandemic, as they did everything they possibly could to make our world a better and kinder place with their music. Their work is first and foremost the reason why we are worthy of this honor. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the staff of the Cleveland Orchestra. Their work, which has been constantly shifting over the past few months, has been crucial in making the work of our orchestra possible. While Severance Hall remains silent throughout this pandemic, we could not let our music stop. And we are proud of the initiatives we undertook in order to continue to make a difference for the people in our city. It has been especially meaningful to see the impact that our new and expanded education and community programs highlighted in the tribute video had when our stages remained empty. The experiences of the past 18 months have only reinforced for us how important it is that we not be just the Cleveland Orchestra, but Cleveland's orchestra. I'm grateful for the support of our Board of Trustees under the leadership of our chairman, Richard Smucker, and of our family of supporters who make our work possible. Thank you again, Values in Action, for this honor, and thank you for recognizing all the kindness and goodness that's taking place in our city.
They pioneered social-emotional learning and pointed us towards a better world. Supporting Project Love Values in Action is not just an investment in our children, it's an investment in a brighter future for all of us.
The purpose of civic service is to care, to show kindness. It's our job to wrap kindness around our entire community, to lift people up, to work together to protect vulnerable people from harm. Over the past year and a half, we've all had to come together to stand up to a bully called COVID-19. So in public service, we got to work, providing 16 million pieces of PPE to first responders, healthcare professionals, and essential workers, providing millions of dollars to keep people in their homes through rental and mortgage assistance, providing the funding for food banks to keep meals on the tables of thousands of residents across this county. Cuyahoga County and our partners were able to turn kindness into tangible results for this community. I'm not about sound bites, I'm about substance. Once said this straight-talking, tireless advocate for the people. In Congress, and now in her new position as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, she continues to look out for those in need nationwide. For her lifetime of service and her continued commitment to equality, we honor Marcia Fudge with the Arnold R. Pinckney Award for Civic Leadership.
The late Stephanie Tubbs Jones once called her longtime friend and aide Marcia Fudge a superstar. We believe she meant that now Secretary Fudge is the consummate public servant and servant leader, striving to serve her community and country. She has done so for Cleveland, the disadvantaged and vulnerable, and all Americans by being her authentic self. This authenticity comprises passion, compassion, kindness, faith, fairness, empathy, service to others, and leadership. Her record shows accomplishments in improving education, nutrition, housing for the homeless, combating obesity, and providing jobs. Her welcoming personality and collaborative spirit have made her a bipartisan cooperation leader to get things done within Congress, both inside and outside of her party. Now, as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, she is using leadership and service to spawn a new era of affordable housing and dignified living for all. Secretary Fudge was a valued protege of the late Arnold R. Pinckney. For her years of service to the community and country, Values in Action is proud to present the Honorable Marcia Fudge with the Arnold R. Pinckney Award for Civic Leadership.
My sincerest thanks to the Values in Action Foundation for honoring me with the Arnold R. Pinckney Award for Civic Leadership. Arnold Pinckney was a dear friend and mentor to me and to so many others in our community. He was a gifted strategist and a powerful force for good who helped shape mayoral races, presidential campaigns, boardrooms, and classrooms. You were well positioned if you were in good stead with Arnold Pinckney. Arnold dedicated his life to improving the lives of people in need, especially our young people. He believed every child should have the right to receive a good education and to grow up in a place where they feel loved, valued, and protected. Arnold fought for equality and opportunity on behalf of the marginalized in our community, and he demanded that we have a seat at the table. Today, I stand on Arnold Pinckney's shoulders. I am humbled to receive this award and honor his legacy of civic leadership and public service. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being a part of this year's celebration of goodness. Your continued support is what makes our vital work possible. We sincerely hope that the stories you have witnessed today inspired and motivated you to make kindness a part of your purpose. God bless you all, and please take kindness wherever you go. Now, a final message from this year's musical guest.
Take a handful of hate, add a portion of pain, a box of fear, a can of tears, pour away all the hope, let it simmer on low. We all repeat this recipe time and time again, my friends. But in the end, there's one ingredient we're missing. Just one drop of love can melt a heart and mend a broken world. Come apart if you only knew what a little love can do. It's hard to hurt and abuse when you stand in my shoes. 'Cause in our pain, we're all the same, trying desperately to fit in a world that just seems to keep forgetting. Just one drop of love can melt a heart and mend a broken world. Come apart if you only knew what a little love can do. It takes the same hands after all. If we build the bridge or we build a wall, we're broken for sure. I've got the cure. One drop of love. Let me show you what a little love can do. 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 Let me show you. You give a little, you take a little, and make a little love. Oh, you want a little, you need a little, then give a little love. One drop of love. Let me show you what